Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another Jenny Live. Hope you guys are having an amazing evening. Join us in Miami TV. Yesterday, we had a show talking about gratitude, and that is something that everybody needs today. And I said we were going to continue it, but some news popped up that I thought also might need a little bit of attention. So don't forget that if you're watching us live and you want to discuss anything in particular live, then go ahead and interact with us. Our chats are always open in MiamiTV.com, and we are more than happy to say hello and talk about whatever you want. So this is a time to relax, a time to interact, a time to spread some positive vibes. Hello, MD. First one up. What's up? Welcome. Good evening. Hi, Daniel, James, Jims. Welcome, guys. Welcome, members. Don't forget, you can subscribe anytime to MiamiTV.com. We have over 6,000 shows on demand, considering Jenny Live, Naked Kitchens, Naked Yogas, a lot of other shows. And on the weekends, we are doing, once again, live from Straw Hat, our famous Do You Dares. So, yeah. Hola, Faisal, bienvenidos. Te amo, te amo, te amo. Gracias. Saludos, Chicago. Hola, Enedino. ¿Cómo estamos? Bienvenidos. Espectacular, espectacular. All right, my loves. Bueno, I'm going to share a news for you that we've translated. It's from a news outlet in Spain. And then it's translated so you're going to be able to know what it says, but I want to get your point on it. And it actually has something, it actually goes hand in hand with something that happened today in California as well, and that Elon Musk has just reacted towards. So let's go ahead. If we're ready, we can share the video, and then we'll be back in 1 minute.
Es un taller infantil de travestismo que organiza el Ayuntamiento de Tarrasa. Lucía Fernández, va dirigido a niños de entre 6 y 12 años. ¿En qué consiste el taller?
Pues Sandra, los niños se inventarán un nombre, se vestirán con la ropa que quieran y así construirán otra versión de sí mismos. Además, jugarán a ser drag kids y se imaginarán un cuerpo diferente al que la sociedad impone. Eso es lo que dice el anuncio. Y lo que pretenden es concienciar, aseguran, introduciendo, y esto es textual, la flexibilidad del género desde la plasticidad y el travestismo. 3 drag queens estarán con ellos. Varios grupos políticos han criticado este taller. Sandra Izquierdo.
Pues sí, terremoto político aquí en Tarrasa por la celebración de ese taller sobre drag queens que se impartirá a niños de entre 6 y 12 años. El Partido Popular, Vox y...
Okay, so short. I thought it was like a minute. Did it go halfway through the video maybe? Or did we start from the beginning? We started from the beginning? Okay, so like I was lost track. Okay, so apparently in Spain, as you saw, there is a new school that came out where you can learn how to be a drag. So from 6 to 12 years old, yes. And we've talked about this before where, you know, respectfully, of course, everybody, we always say everybody, you should do whatever makes you happy. But there has been like this huge movement around the world where everybody's saying, you know, don't touch our children, which I think definitely has some really, you know, high importance on it, because there is a movement that is actually targeting kids about, you know, becoming transvestites or transgender. And not that there's anything wrong with it as long as you're of age, right, and you can make proper decisions, because I do believe that there's so many people today, and mental illness is the #1, so many people today with mental illness, which is the #1 illness in the world actually today. People are just not sane. There is not a glimpse of sanity and humanity tonight, unfortunately, today. And it's really scary to think that, you know, younger generations are coming into these crazy times even more confused than ever, right? Because forget about like the technology, but what about all these different genders and different ideologies that all of a sudden you have to be learning since you're a kid? So be very, I always say that I admire the parents that decided to be parents today, because I think it's probably one of the most difficult times anybody has ever had to be a parent, not only because of the insecurity that's going on in the world, but also because, you know, you leave your youngs to go to school, and they're basically molded, right, by the system, by a system that is made to enslave us, by a system that is being built for you to not ask questions and just do as you're told, basically, like little robots. Maybe that's why we're so afraid of the new era of technology, because in that sense, that is what, you know, that's what it's requested of us overall. But going back to that news in Spain, so there is, of course, a large majority of people that do go against this. It's fun. You know, we go to Fantasy Fest every year, and there is a lot of LGBTQ, however many letters there is, and it's amazing. You know, they're amazing people, and I don't even want to say they, because it's people. You know, the people are there's good people and there's bad people. It's as simple as that. However you want to dress and whatever you want to do with your sexuality and your sexual life is up to you, and I could really care less, okay? But if there is an age, right, to drink, if there is an age to vote, if there is an age that decides that you are of legal age after the age of 18, wouldn't deciding about like your gender and about if you want to be a woman or a man, if it's even a decision you want to make, you know, have to come afterwards? You know, wouldn't this fall into the equation of, hey, well, you're not old enough to drive, you're not old enough to vote, you're not old enough to drink, but you can decide if you want to change your gender. That's totally cool. So if people don't see this already, that there's an actual like evil hand behind all this that is pushing this agenda. Hola Ramon, hello Ramon. Then I don't know what else. I feel like there's so many people that are blind to it, and maybe you want to be that cool parent, right, that just allows just about anything because you don't want to be left behind. I understand, you know, like our parents, right? They had a really hard time being the cool parents back in the day as well, but today it's even more difficult. It's like if you're not 100% on board with all this new changes, then oh no, you must be racist, or you must be homophobic, or you must be something, right? All of a sudden, it makes you, we're in an era where, you know, where we're immediately just targeted, and it's like if you don't like something, you're called names. It's really sad. So I think more than ever, and I want to talk about confidence today, because I think it all comes down to confidence. Some parents might ask, like, how is it possible if you let your kids go to a school that they're going to be so influenced by the things that are around them, especially when it comes to all this movement where, hey, if you have a friend and you're learning in this world, right, like your mind is 100% open, your mind is all, you know, all out, just ready to absorb information, and you decide, hey, my friend, you know, is wearing something different that the boys don't wear, and I'm going to try it out, and vice versa. You know, I'm just giving silly examples. Then obviously, I mean, we're learning. So at any age, especially at the age where you are, you know, observing and absorbing everything that's around you, it's really easy to manipulate you. So that is where also music comes in, right? Music getting to the point where it's so sexualized that some people don't even realize, and they're putting certain kind of music in like kids' birthday parties, and it's like, what? You know, and it's talking straight up like about profanity and sex. So there is a brainwashing system happening, and the saddest thing is that people are allowing it to happen. Then there's the other part of society that is actually awakening, right, and is realizing that, holy crap, yes, there is something happening that is actually you know, targeting the next generations, your kids, and it's super dangerous. So it doesn't mean that you're against something if you just decide, hey, let a kid's mind just be a kid, right, and just enjoy going to kindergarten without having to worry so much if they're going to all of a sudden be influenced into changing their sex or being transvestite all of a sudden. So I said it the other day, and I'm going to repeat it today. I mean, I don't think clothing makes a difference on who you are. You know, dress however you want, do whatever you want, but those that decide who, you know, what you're going to become are your parents. Those are the ones that have to be aware of your changes. Those are the ones that have to be there, making sure that your mental state is adequate, that you're creating a positive surrounding for them so they can grow up in a peaceful environment, so that when they go to school, they're not influenced so easily. So what is the key to this? It's actually confidence. So how do you teach, younger generations to be confident? We have to remove from our vocabulary anything that makes. Go back to your age when you were a kid, right? Like in this news, it was 6 to 12. So go back to any time back then, and you didn't have any problems, right? Like us adults have. You didn't have any. You didn't have to pay the bills, you didn't have any stress, you still didn't fall in love, so everything, you weren't in that stage yet. So anything that basically stresses you out didn't happen yet, okay? You were still in this kind of la-la land that we all should be in la-la land, but at that point, you were still in la-la land because all the responsibility was taken over by your parents. So the moment that you start nagging or insulting or really just being a pain of a parent, let's call it, it's going to backfire, okay? Where those youngsters are not going to want to listen to you anymore because, they don't understand what you could possibly be talking about, because you can't bring reason into a mind that still hasn't, that doesn't understand and hasn't lived the things that you've lived. We think that as adults, we speak to people or even minors about things that they still haven't been through things, and that just by speaking about it, they're going to understand it, and not necessarily. So that is when the nagging or the complaining or the being that tough parent comes in, and that's also going to backfire. So learn how to teach your kids confidence in the sense that you're supporting them, and at the same time you're telling them that they're, the best that there is, that they are beautiful, that they are they're healthy, they have everything they ever wanted, that they're going to be able to do anything they want, that they are a beautiful woman if they're born in a woman's body, right? That they're a beautiful man if they're born in a male's body, okay? And motivate them into knowing what it's going to be like to be that family man or that family woman, and being an example as a parent towards those kids. So, because that's, at the end of the day, that is the key, is being the example. If you can't set an example at home, then that is going to be one vulnerable child going out, okay, and being influenced by the first asshole that comes in front of them and just tries to sell them something else, because there's a void, there's an emptiness that they feel that needs to be replaced by something. So if you don't find love at home to begin with, then how could you possibly love yourself? Or if you are somebody that it's always telling your kid or you used to, you're good for nothing, and oh boy, there's a lot of people that actually do that. It's like you do everything wrong, or you yell at them, or you tell them, or when they do something wrong, you yell at them and you make them cry. So you're not going to learn anything from being put to cry, okay? You're not going to teach anything from putting somebody to cry. So there's obviously everybody decides how it is that they do things, but what I'm trying to say is that to build confidence, it has to start at home. And to build confidence, you have to feel loved. Because if you feel safe, if you feel loved, you're not going to be easily moved around from side to side. Because the moment somebody comes up to you, no matter how old you are, and says to you, hey, come over here, come to the car, I have candy, okay, you're going to know, you're going to be like, no, candy's depending on how you were taught, but you might be like, candy's really bad for me, it's going to rot my teeth, and I don't speak to strangers. So that's the kind of confidence that I'm talking about, the ones where you are actually preparing them to go out to a world full of piranhas, because that's basically what's going on here. And susceptible minds, weak minds, unfortunately, are the ones that fall into these traps. There was another news also today in California. I'm going to read it in a sec. Hello, David. How are you? Welcome, members. Welcome, guys. Because it has to do with this as well. And it was strange that it actually happened today. Let's see. Hi, Chris. Welcome, Cyprus. Hi from Cyprus. Buenas noches, Tarcisio. Buenas noches. Let's go up a little bit. I think I missed some of the comments. And thanks for being here. When I was 11 or 10, I was... Iba para el cuarto de mis amigas mías cuando se bañaban en Cuba. I would go to the room of my friends in Cuba when they were taking a shower, under the bed, and I would get under the bed. Bajo la cama cuando ella se encuadra. And I would watch how they would undress. Well, that was, I'm guessing you didn't have parents that taught you that women should be respected. So that's sad to hear. But okay, well, I'm glad you're opening up about it now. There's, at least in a way, it's a little, you didn't do anything, I mean, it was inappropriate, but you didn't act on anything else. So that's well. I hope today you're well. Can we find inner peace, Jenny? Can we try? It's a journey of guide we can get by. We can obtain spirituality, just ask how and why. Jenny finds nifty answers, she can be shy. I love those poems. Be patient with Jenny, her answers are nigh, like a priestess, she has the all-seeing eye. We can solve our problems. No. We can solve our problems like a clever spy. Use spirits to solve mysteries, my. Love the blue eyes. Everybody's rhyming today, what's going on? Let's not forget to put the comments on the video. Okay, so welcome Brazil. Okay, I read you guys. Go. I have a dress just like yours. Aloha, John. Amazing. There's an advantage of being a man, also disadvantages. If a woman wants to change gender, she should know this. If you become a man, all of your problems will not magically disappear. Alvin, I'm glad you're feeling better. So that's where I was eventually headed towards. There is a mental state that's happening today that I would recommend this to anybody because I've had emails before and I've answered them accordingly, but I would recommend this to anybody that is thinking of actually having any kind of mutilation or sex change to first face their demons. Okay, so go through your, I wouldn't say go to psychologists because to be honest with you, I mean, I think psychologists are very highly respected and all that, but I don't think they solve anything. So, you know, find somewhere where you can actually face the things that have happened to you, that have happened to you in the past, things that make you sad. I mean, basically get to the point of the things that have traumatized you in life. If after you're done through any kind of therapy and you get to be happy, you still want to have that change, so be it. But at least you're doing it with a sane mind. You're doing it with a strong mind. You're doing it very decisively. There is a lot of stories of people that have changes, okay, and they end up suffering from really bad depression afterwards. So like our friend Anthony says, yes, a lot of people do think that just by changing sexes, all of a sudden the world is going to be different and they're going to feel different. But the thing is, it's still the same body. Even though you look different, it's still the same body. And you know what? We're going to make an example also with the people that get plastic surgery, like extreme plastic surgery. And I don't have anything against plastic surgery. But people that go through extreme cases of plastic surgery, you know, usually tend to try to find happiness with that physicality of themselves, with that new assets that they might have. And at the end of the day, it's still the same person. Your emotions are going to be the same. Your mind is going to be the same. So if you don't really pay attention to your brain, if you don't pay attention to the #1 organ in our body, which basically controls our emotions, then you can do whatever you want from here down, okay, or actually all over your body and look as a different person. I mean, you can get a head transplant for all I care. Thanks. And you're still going to feel the same. You know why? Because your energy is the same. So changing a gender or changing your body with plastic surgery to have more of something, or changing, you know, with technology the way we're going, even doing like maybe even a face-off, isn't going to change how you feel inside, because that is actually the key. Inside, you feel shitty for whatever reason, you're not comfortable in your body or you're not comfortable with how you look because your inside is rotten, your inside is really messed up. And I'm allowed to say that because I've been there, okay? So, well, everybody's allowed to say whatever they want, but making a point. You know, so you need to start working from the inside out. You need to start working, figuring it out. why do you feel this way? Why do you feel depressed? Why do you not accept yourself how you were made? This is, it's fate, it's destiny. The way that you were born is what a higher consciousness wanted of yourself. So there's something you need to learn from all this. By going against nature, we're actually just backfiring back at us, where it's like we're spitting against the wind. It's going to spit back at you. So I repeat, I'm not against anybody that does this. I'm just saying that just be careful and be decisive when your mind is calm and happy. If you can sit there in a chair and you can look at me in the eye and say, I am the happiest I've ever been, but actually feel it and not lie to yourself about it, and say, I have no traumas in my past. I have nothing that makes me sad from what I've been through. I have nothing that I can look back that makes me cringe and makes my stomach curl, okay? And I am very happy with myself. And I want to become a different sex, then I'm going to say, bravo, well, go ahead and do it. If you're old enough and you're over 18 or however, 18 will be you're an adult, right? Then great. But other than that, anything before that, you're influenced. And it's not even about like sex changes. This is about, look at music. How many times have you changed your music taste in school, right? Or the way that you dressed, or the way that you look, right? So our youth, especially from 6 to 12, come on, our youth is when we discover when we are discovering what we want to be, when we're discovering and we're, going through all those doubts of who we are and why we're here. And if you don't have a correct guidance, it's going to be obvious that you're going to be just like a flying balloon, and anybody that pretty much picks up on your string, you're going to hold on to because they're offering you a salvation. Okay, so teaching people to be respectful towards others, because whatever it is that they do with their life, it's their life, and they have all the right in the world to choose for themselves. But influencing a mind that is still raw, okay, that is still learning, that is still absorbing, and hasn't even developed yet, is criminal. Honestly, I don't know how these schools or these places aren't shut down. Then again, everybody should do what they want, so they shouldn't be shut down. But then at that point, I would say it comes to the parents. It comes to the parents to just saying, hey, this is a way of life that people do, and you need to respect it, and there's nothing wrong with you dressing up as a girl or a boy if you're the opposite sex. It's just clothing. It doesn't say who you are or define who you are. But this is the way that you were born. So let's try it out, right? Let's try out how nature came about and what nature decided for you. And if when you're old enough and you're older, right, and you're over the age of 18, you still feel like nature has made a mistake, then you have all the right in the world to make a choice. But come on, being pressed on like that to kids when they're not under parental guidance, like in schools and stuff, it's criminal. There's a fish that changes gender. It doesn't do it for fun. It does it to save the species from extinction. Most creatures don't have that option. Interesting. What's the name of the fish? Clown? The clownfish, nice. Very proud here, like clownfish. Saludos, Juan. Hola, muchas gracias. 19 just made it. Yes, you did. We got 5 minutes on the clock. Okay, so the next one is that Elon Musk actually removes X and SpaceX from California against the students pro-trans. This is the last wish. Okay, so this is in the actual news. Let me see. Let me, because I want to actually read the right news. So I think it was the governor, right? There it goes. So this new law in California bans school rules requiring teachers and other staff to disclose a student's gender, identity, or sexual orientation to any other person without the child's permission. So basically, if your kid is going through a mental disorder and it doesn't want you to know because it's afraid you're going to react on them, they're going to be that way in school, but they're going to keep it away from you. Like, what? I mean, but of course, you know, if the kid gets a bad grade or if the kid gets into a fight, that you're going to be the first one to know. But they just don't they don't see it important to let you know if all of a sudden they're coming to school and dressing up as another gender or maybe even wanted to do a sex change. So yeah, you know, because the fights and the grades are so much more important in their future. Well, like what? Sometimes I literally just like look at the news and look at the world we're living in, and I just want to wake up and be in another planet because it's like, what? Like, so the good thing is, and I do totally back up Elon Musk on this, not that it matters, but you know, that he said, well, I'm going to remove SpaceX and X from California. Because he's obviously against that rule. So yeah, there's this whole division happening where, like I said, I believe nature is very wise. I think that we have so much more to learn from nature that it's just a matter of allowing it to take its course in our lives, and that if we really, really, really feel against it, you know, when we're older, then you can take the appropriate measures and everything. And I can totally, like I said before, like I totally respect parents that are parents today because, oh my God, you guys have such a hard time. I mean, I was such a problematic, you know, child when I was a kid. So that today I'm like, I don't know how my mom put up with me. But if we were problematic back in the day, I mean, imagine being problematic today. Like back in the day, it was problematic about maybe being like a brat or wanting something that everybody had, and you know, but today it's like, no, the problematic is like, I want to cut my genitals off. You know, like I don't know. I think, you know, hearing these things parent-wise, it's like, wow. These problems with gender identification were not as common some years ago as they are now. What do you think is the main origin of this problem today? I think it's propaganda. I think that there's been a huge propaganda being pushed on people, which I don't see anything wrong with shows. Like, I think the first shows that came out were the trans makeup shows on the Food Network. I don't remember now, but anyway, first it was just trans shows, but all of a sudden they're adding trans shows to kids. There's a fly to kids. You know. Yeah, to kids' channels. So I don't think that's at all okay. But at the same time, like, oh, seriously, you have like such a large room, just go somewhere else. Ooh, yeah, by the way, that fly reminded me, guys, if there's mosquitoes where you live, which I think they're everywhere now because we're being poisoned with mosquitoes apparently, try this new repellent. It's vanilla extract, okay, and just water, and add a little cinnamon if you want. I'm not kidding. I saw it on Twitter that somebody was saying, you know, I love you to the person that whoever shared it, and all of a sudden a lot of people are sharing it. I tried it today. That might be why I might smell like vanilla. And it worked. No mosquitoes. And there's a lot of mosquitoes because of rain season here in Tulum. So you're probably going to save a lot of money, and it's something natural that you can spray on yourself. So Daugor, so yeah, I think there's a propaganda to stop people from generating positive energy. You know, we're going to go back to the origin of everything, which is nature created man and woman, okay? And that is how the world and humanity exists, okay? We have been trying to play gods recently, and people that are above us, okay, in like a money level, that control the politics and all that. If there's positive energy in the world, there's no wars, people are awake, your mind is opened. But if there is no positive energy in the world because, well, people are confused, their mental state is messed up, they don't know what, I mean, to be that confused that you don't know who you are, okay, which I think is probably 90% of the population, but let's say that there's a small percentage of inside of that percentage that doesn't know who they are and doesn't accept themselves for who they are, because I think that's the one thing, is accepting yourself and loving yourself, how you are, how you were brought into this world. And any thoughts that go against that, it's probably just because you're confused. And just take your time. There is no rush. And you know why people are so anxious about these topics? Because it's being pushed on them, and it's a propaganda scam. So what happens if the elite, or if the occult society, or whatever you want to call it, the Illuminati, if they plant this correctly, then they can influence as many thousands of people in the world to actually change sexes, and then just be depressed for the rest of their life. If you can't love yourself, how could you possibly think that you're going to be able to love somebody else? Okay, so it all begins with there. If we take your love away, if we make you feel uncomfortable about who you are, and confused about who you are, and give you possibilities of things that might open up this lie of a world that things are going to get better, but the thing is they're not, because what matters is your energy, and energy doesn't have a sex, by the way. Your energy is just neutral. What gives you a sex is the body. So if they do that, then that's a perfect strike in humanity. Why? Because eventually there's no longer going to be any positive energy in the world. There is not even that. There's not going to be any reproduction anymore. So humanity's just going to fall to extinct. It's already a problem, isn't it? It goes so much deeper than we can see. It goes a lot more deeper. And if you look at countries that actually do have these laws where degenerated old, I can't say the word, marry 6-year-old girls, and they're like 40-year-old men marrying them. I saw the news the other day where the guy obviously killed the girl because she bled from inside out, and she was only 6 years old, and he married her. The countries that usually accept this are the countries that are way behind in everything, okay? And their vibrational level is extremely low. So it's just a matter of opening your eyes and seeing what's going on. And like I said, it's not about judging, it's not about criticizing, it's not about telling you this is right and this is wrong, because in reality, there isn't a right or wrong. In reality is that there is just positive and negative. So if what you're doing and the decisions that you're doing, are causing you to generate positive energy in an overall, because you love yourself and you found love and you have love in your life, then by all means, so be it. And you're old enough to make those decisions, right? But for the most part, that isn't the case. For the most part, it's people that are just confused, that are trying to find an exit because of the mental illness, and they don't want to hear that they have a mental illness, because that's offensive. It's like telling an alcoholic that they're alcoholics, right? Nobody wants to be told what they're doing if it's wrong, or if it's wrong by society, right? But the thing is that it all comes down to just facing your demons. Face your demons. Once you're pure, once your energy's pure, and you learn to love life and love yourself, then you can make the decisions in a more clear mind, don't you think? Let's see. Let's go up a little bit. Can you receive positive energy in your sleep? Absolutely. Hello, my beautiful lady. Let's go down. Love you, Pakistan. It's 5:40 a.m. We're in Multan City, 2000 Old City of Saints. Interesting. Hello, Pakistan. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, so long as you're happy. Of course. And like we said, it's not only about being happy, it's about really being happy. Because you could say you're happy just because you just had a sex change, right? And you're like, I got what I wanted. But in reality, you just got what you wanted. And then later on, you're going to be facing something that you can't reverse. So when it comes to making these kind of crucial decisions, what's the rush? Take your time. Work on yourself first. Work on yourself. If let's say you do want to become a woman and you're a man, or vice versa. Dress like one first, see how that feels, right? Go do therapy, go through therapy where you can face your demons and face the issues that you have. And when you get to that point where you can look in the mirror without any sex change, and you can say, well, this is really who I want to be, and I feel so much more in connection with myself now that I've done therapy or whatever, then great, go for it. But there's no rush. You know, you don't want to rush into something that all of a sudden, maybe a year later, you're going to be like, I want to kill myself, because unfortunately, that is also happening. Thank you, Jenny. You're good people. Missed most of you tonight. Thank you. How's the weather where you are? Over here, it's very sunny during the day, and it is raining in the afternoon and nights. So yeah, but the mosquitoes are crazy. I mean, they're like, they're like hybrids. We have hybrid mosquitoes recently, and I know it's not only here. I mean, has anybody seen the video? I don't know if it's real or not, because you know with AI today, anything could be fake, but have you seen those videos where they all of a sudden just drop like thousands of mosquitoes? I know that they've dropped genetically modified mosquitoes years ago to combat Zika in Miami, because I got a call with like a survey about it, and I was like, I wasn't aware of this. But that's what I'm saying. Like, man is trying to play God, right? And that is when things just, nature just says, you know, and it basically just takes us to our destruction. All right, guys. Anyway, have an amazing evening. Love you. These are the news for tonight. We will see you tomorrow, same time, and maybe we'll continue talking about appreciation. Stay good. Continue now with our Positive Energy Seminar for our members in MiamiTV.com. Kisses. Good night.